Hello, hello. Yes, alright. It's almost loaded. Hold on. Got a new pen. Gotta make sure it starts working before I start writing. Also, gotta make sure the audio is working. It sounds like it is muted at the moment. Got a new pen. Alright. I think everything is working. As we're here for another episode in our WWE 2K25 MyGM Series. And I will 100% admit to y'all, I'm a bit insane. Because I am filming this Wednesday night, Thursday morning, if you want to be really technical about it. And we have not even uploaded episode 10 yet. So the only real issue is that when I film these and then hold it before uploading it is references I make. So I'll try my best tonight to do that. I don't think it's the biggest deal, but something that always lingers in the back of my mind. But something that is good, we've got a lot of momentum going for us, a lot of good things happening right now. And the biggest and best thing, important thing, is we're going to go over here. When we ended off the last episode, we had a very big talent scout search because the talent scout searches for the month are half off. And I've wrote down what we needed to do. The big thing was debating whether we sign Stone Cold Steve Austin, or Cactus Jack. If this was real life, I would probably sign Stone Cold Steve Austin. But obviously, this is a video game. So what we're going to do is sign Cactus Jack. He's going to feud with Braun Breaker for the time being. But more importantly, the main reason I'm signing Cactus Jack is once Penta and Kevin Owens are done feuding, I will more than likely do a Kevin Owens and Cactus Jack feud, which would be electric. And obviously, in real life, we've already got Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens, which is something that's insane. And I will never forget about it. I can't forget about it because the 2-pack of that match sits on my desk. So again, if this was real life, I would sign Stone Cold Steve Austin, obviously, but this is a video game, and I'm slightly more excited to sign Cactus Jack, so that is what we'll be doing at this exact moment, and use this second free Immortal Power Card. Oh, hell, okay. Now, that is funny. That is funny. I'm glad that Mick Foley is down here, because now it's kind of a caveat. I did not even pick up on that. That is funny. So we'll be signing Mick Foley / Cactus Jack, which I don't even know what version of Mick Foley. If we watched or played a match, I have no clue what version of Mick Foley this is, actually. But we're signing Mick Foley. Bang, bang. Now, the other thing that we need to do is to sign MyGM / Michin, which I don't know if she goes by. I think she goes by both on TV. But we need to sign another female talent. We need to bring in more female talent, and we'll be doing so with bringing in Michin. Now, we're going to sign her on this 1-week deal and then give her this 10-week power card. Also, again, I will admit, I forgot about we have that $100,000 down there. There we go. So, right now, and I have wrote down things planned for the next episode. Sign Michin to the 10-week contract. Check. Sign Stone Cold or Cactus Jack. X, because we could sign them, but you get the joke. Now, rivalry-wise, I always mention, I like to mention to y'all what the plan is, because there's a chance that we don't get to do the thing that is planned, and, that way you know what I was thinking. So right now, Cody Rhodes is our WWE champion. He's main eventing against Carmelo Hayes in a steel cage match to conclude their rivalry. I'm going to hope that RVD wins this. Anybody besides Dominic. If Dominic wins, it's not that big of a deal. I would prefer RVD wins because we're going to move Dominic to feuding with Cody. That way he can feud for the WWE title. He can still be U.S. champion, but you understand why I would want one of the other three to win. So, Cody Rhodes versus Dominic, RVD versus Carmelo Hayes, LA Knight versus Trick Williams, Penta versus Kevin Owens, AJ Styles and Carl Anderson versus the Street Profits, Braun Breaker versus Cactus Jack, Stone Cold, or Mark Henry. Those are the three names that I wrote down. We couldn't sign Mark Henry because he can't match up with, or whatever style that we would have had wouldn't have meshed up with Braun Breaker. Again, maybe I should have signed Stone Cold. It's not that big of a deal. But I decided to go with Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, because afterwards I would rather see Mick Foley versus Kevin Owens than than Stone Cold versus Kevin Owens, because we've already got that. Again, I'm gonna have to keep overstating it because it's a decision in real life I wouldn't have made, obviously. Women's division wise, we need to bring in one more female talent, preferably. And when we do that, that's who Rhea Ripley will be feuding with. But the time being, we're probably going to give her the next couple of weeks off because she has got a very low stamina. Sol Ruca versus Gigi Dolan, Roxanne Perez versus Mi Chen, and Stephanie Vaquer versus Zoe Starks whenever she is healthy. So we already have this episode lined up. And the main thing that we need to worry about next is changing Mick Foley. All right, so Braun Breaker is a face bruiser. So here's the issue: is I just told you that we didn't sign Mark Henry because he wouldn't have matched up with Braun Breaker. Now Mick Foley is going to be the same thing, which makes this 10 times more hilarious. And I could have just saved all this by signing Stone Cold, but that's the last time I want to mention that. So I don't really know what to do there, unless we just go ahead and swap things. I want to do Penta and Kevin Owens, and we're going to do Penta and Kevin Owens, so we'll find a way to make that work. Let's get this first episode done. Y'all been waiting quite a while for it, and we need to get this done. That way we can move on. As RVD wins, that's who I wanted to win. The plan is to have RVD feud with Carmelo Hayes for the U.S. title. In the underground, Carl Anderson and Angelo Dawkins, with Angelo Dawkins winning. I don't really know why I picked an underground match. Sol Ruca wins. Shout out Sol Ruca. Whew. The only thing that I really want to talk about is my Memphis Grizzlies, because it has been... Oh, good for Melo. Good for Melo. Terrible for us. That's actually terrible. It's not that bad because we have not used an injury rehab card. So we have some. I just don't know if I necessarily... The good thing here's the good thing, is I listed off all of the rivalries, everything that we have planned in total, which I don't think I mentioned AJ Styles and Carl Anderson versus the Street Profits. 10. Technically 10. It's actually 9, but technically 10 because I'm not counting Rhea, because I said that it's Rhea versus someone to be determined. But we have 9 to 10 things planned. Missing out on a couple people is not the biggest deal. Okay. SmackDown is making waves. I don't really want to give a bonus, but I don't really want to... I don't know why they do this to me. SmackDown is making waves, and I'm at the forefront of it all, which that is kind of funny. You're not really, but I do still love you, Stephanie Vaquer. This is amazing. Through the ups and downs, I've never been on this kind of a role before in my career. I appreciate the opportunity I've been given to do what I love most here on SmackDown, but sometimes that's not enough, This was because if I do this, she's going to get really mad, and then the next chance she gets, she's going to try to leave. So while we have the money, and I'm saying that in quotes, while we have the money, I'll give it. This ain't going to work for everybody. So Rhea wants to be on the next pay-per-view. I also forgot that Braun Breaker is on a break, so I'm glad that I realized that. So promise Trick Williams a rematch against Cody Rhodes, which is, again, pretty hilarious because he is out for a while. So all right, we're going to buy this. We'll need it at some damn point. I thought this was also for 4 weeks. It's only 3 weeks. So I'm going to go ahead and use 1 on Cody. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. Thing 2, again, any chance I get to use this, I will, which at this moment we can't. So, thing 1, we need Braun Breaker to potentially turn into a specialist or a fighter. I believe that we have an XP card to get that. Okay, we don't. I see one up there, but I don't even really know how much. All right, we're going to buy it because it's 12,000. It's not that expensive. So this is going to be used on Braun Breaker. Should be used on other people, but Braun Breaker it will be. It didn't even go up that much. All right, that's fine. Worst case scenario, we just have a bruiser versus bruiser, which is not. I don't know how much it takes off for that. All right, thing 2. I don't really know what direction we're going for this episode. Michin is here, which she is supposed to be feuding with Roxanne Perez. We need these women's rivalries to conclude. A lot of low morales as well. Not as many. Only really Gigi Dolan. Zoe Stark is also back. So I think what we're going to do, kind of crazy, we're going to do a steel cage match with these two, which the main reason I say it is crazy because we just saw what happened with the other one. And we're going to actually have a run-in this one. This is going to be Zoe Stark going to do. Who is feuding with Stephanie Vicker? You know what? Eeny, meeny, money, mo, catch a tiger. Who are we going with? All right, Roxanne Perez is already a special. All right. We'll come back to this. What is the other rivalries that are going on that need to be concluded? Carl Anderson and Kevin Owens, I'm not that concerned about. I think we need a tag title match because we have not defended the tag titles in a minute. So, these two versus the Street Profits, which is a rivalry I've been trying to do for such a long time. We're going to turn RVD, and is technically in front of his hometown crowd because he is from Battle Creek, Michigan, which I don't even know. I don't know where that's at. We should have Mick Foley do something since he is the new talent. Braun Breaker's here. I'm trying to execute and use people that staminas are not that low. Michin is here. Here's the problem. If I put these people in a match, all right, I think we're actually going to do that. We're going to do a triple threat. Yeah, I think I know what we're doing. All right, triple threat with Gigi Dolan, Michin, and Zoe Stark. And I'm just hoping that no one gets hurt. It's not the biggest deal, but with Rhea Ripley running in there. Soruka, why she'll 1-star, why she'll 1 promo, why she'll 1. And then up here, Carmella should be in a match. LA Knight, Kevin Owens, Penta. LA Knight should be in a match, and Mick Foley. You know what? I think I know what we're doing. The two new signings, LA Knight and Mick Foley, are going to have a match with this being a tables match and Trick Williams running in and going after LA Knight. So I could take it off of this match. Rhea Ripley and Gigi don't want to have one last match next week, which I feel like I've been saying that for a month. Carmelo Hayes is going to cut a promo for us. We'll do a charity promo. And then Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens is perfect for this. He'll do the ad promo. Okay. Any problems here? The triple threat, kind of, because I don't want it to spin off into a rivalry. I also don't need it to be a tables match. You know what? Screw it. We'll do an Extreme Rules match. I said we don't need. They kind of got okay. They got okay staminas. I'm also feel that we have 3 of these, so we will use one for Stephanie Vicker. I think I'm more okay with this episode now. All right, Stephanie Vicker. I haven't even wrote down the episode name. Episode 63. Stephanie Vicker versus Roxanne Perez. Steel cage match. LA Knight versus Mick Foley, the 2 new signings in a tables match. Gigi Dolan, Mi Chen, and Zoe Stark in an Extreme Rules match. So here's a good thing about... I know I cannot film Thursday, Friday, and probably Saturday. And Sunday is my normal filming day. But, like, again, I have, like, half a page. I told y'all, like, everything that I had wrote down, like, half a page worth of stuff. And that I just couldn't sit there and, like, I can't wait till Sunday. So, go ahead and film it early. It's not that big of a deal. If it is, tell me in the comments. Street Profits versus AHS Styles, Carl Anderson tag team title match. So, the road to WrestleMania, because I'm thinking a month ahead. Rhea Ripley, Stephanie Vicker, Cody Rhodes, Braun Breaker, Kevin Owens, Mick Foley, probably Penta and Dom, the Street Profits versus Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, and that leaves us with RVD, LA Knight, AJ Styles, and Carl Anderson to do something with, which I think we could probably get something to work there for them. So, I feel like I'm forgetting something. Braun Breaker's not used this week. Rhea Ripley wants to be on the next pay-per-view. What is the next pay-per-view? Bash in Berlin. That they never have located in Berlin. I should buy this to get that challenge, but I'm not. It's been a while since we did a tornado tag, but we don't really need to. I can make the main event tornado tag, but I'm not. So, here we go. Episode 63. Week 63. With Stephanie Vicker picking up the victory. I don't think anybody get hurt. I don't think so. The 2 new signings with Mick Foley picking up the win. Zoe Stark. Is it Stark? Yeah, it's Stark. All right, so that's I don't mind these 2 feuding, but I would have preferred it not to happen, if that makes sense. Which, logically speaking, I could just put them in a cage match on this episode with new tag champions in the Street Profits. This is a cool ass opening match. Oh, simulate just for that. Speaking of Andrade, I don't know how reliable the source is or how true it is, but I saw on Twitter, which the words that you just heard come out of my mouth and then go, oh, so you're relying on Twitter. But someone got an email. It's from it was a wrestling figure page, and apparently they're no longer the manufacturer is no longer making WWE Elite Andrade figures. So there's the rumor that he was coming back to WWE and I'm saying rumor in quotations. I would imagine that kind of puts that to an end, as I see that Razor Ramon is now in ECW, which Scott Hall did make a handful of ECW appearances. But what makes it slightly funny is that at Ross, I bought a basic edition Andrade figure, which, to be fair, it's not really that funny because it's a man's livelihood. So we have another injury rehab card. Who is this going to be for? Well, he's not the champion, so. Okay, Gigi Dolan. She injured Ripley. I don't like that. I'm not that against doing that for Milo. Rest your male solo champions. So that would be RVD and Cody. All right? I don't really care that much about the talent scout points, but I was about to say that kind of. I don't really care about the scouting points that much. All right. Rhea's only hurt for 1 week because of that. Because you just caused a pain in my ass. Gigi Dolan, you're not getting another. See, here's the thing. I just wish that rivalry would go away. I don't even want to do one more match with those two. That's the issue right there. And we'd have to wait for it. You need anyways. So, what does need to be done? What do we need to do? All right. LA Knight is here. Cody is only out for 1 more week, so we will probably use an injury rehab on him. So here's the problem. Let's think this through. Because we can't use him next week unless there is a. You know what? I'll go ahead and use it. We'll wait. No. Let's think. I'm trying to think. Because obviously there's not an injury rehab card in the shop this week. We would need one for a 1 week one if we're going to do it at show 16. Which I'm mainly just trying to book him versus Trick Williams. That way I can go ahead and get that done. We're definitely going to have RVD in a match this week. I think we're going to go ahead and do a Trick Williams LA Knight match. Why is Trick at 11 stamina? I guess because he interfered in a match last week. I have so many people and have so much things planned. I don't know. Four people are gone, obviously. Montez Ford and Carl Anderson will probably do in a match and have Angelo cut a promo. So what type of match these two will be in, I don't quite know yet. The very rare backstage brawl, sure. It's not really rare. Backstage brawl with these two, I think that makes sense. Just for the fan boost. Angelo Dawkins doing an ad promo. I think RVD and Dominic will do a match. I think that's fair to give Dom his title rematch. I need Mello in a match. I just don't really know against who quite yet. There are options. The other thing is Mello's still a freaking cruiser. Mello should have been a specialist by now, but he's only a level 11, which sucks. Saruka, who we supposed to have her feuding with? She's supposed to be feuding with Gigi Dolan, which makes this hilarious, more funny. But we would have needed to turn Gigi heel. Kevin Owens should wrestle this week. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 men. 1, 2, yeah. But 2 are heels, 4 are faces. Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes should face Braun Breaker with us doing the GM interference, but the only person that Melo could face and it get a good rating potentially is Penta, which logically speaking, I can't even think of something to make that work. Mick Foley is also supposed to be feuding with Mick Foley, which I forgot about that already. Might have been a waste of a Sonnen. We can make it work, obviously. Unless I wanted to go ahead and do Mick Foley and Kevin Owens, and then save Penta and do Penta and Braun Breaker, which I'm not the biggest fan of. But for the sake of this week, it might be I don't know. We need Braun Breaker to be a heel, so that might be our. I don't know. We need Braun Breaker to be a heel regardless. So I actually don't think we'll be if we're booking Braun Breaker in a match tonight, it will be against Carmelo Hayes. I will say that. Women's wise, only Soruka. Alright, I think we're going to do a triple threat. Soruka versus Zoe. See, y'all see the issue there. It says it's on cooldown. Soruka is supposed to be feuding with Roxanne Perez, but she just lost. So logically speaking, she should not be getting a title shot. Maybe we'll just say, because who's Roxanne supposed to feud with after this? Michin. Okay, I think we can get somewhere with this. Probably not. Probably not. With Zoe start doing a run in and going after. All right, so plans are changing already. I told you what I had wrote down. I think we're already changing shit. I'm not that against Roxanne and Soruka feuding, but I don't want that realistically speaking. All right. LA Knight is here. Kevin Owens is here. Penta is here. Mello is here. I think we're just going to do a fatal four-way in the opening. Probably not, because I don't think we don't. Yeah. Or we're not. How many people do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to give Trick the week off because, low stamina. Penta. I think whatever way we do it is probably not going to. I'm probably not going to like, I will admit. Mick Foley. I think that we're probably going to the route of Carl Anderson or Kevin Owens and Mick Foley already feuding, which is just us swapping stuff. I'm not that against this match. And then, we're going to put it in the opener because it has the highest level of people. Mick Foley, Kevin Owens, LA Knight. And then down here, we're going to do Penta and Mello with us doing the GM interference. And then over here, Stephanie Vaquer can do a charity promo. Trick can do an ad promo. And regardless of whatever we need, because I think I've come to the conclusion that we're not going to do Braun Breaker and Cactus Jack. Regardless of what happens, we need Braun Breaker to be a heel. So let's go ahead and get that done this week. So there's that. Is there anything else? Alright. This match is just the healthiest people, obviously, which I've already forgot they had Carl Anderson in a match. We could have had Carl. I don't know why Carl Anderson and Kevin Owens are feuding anyway, so we'll ignore it. Mick Foley versus Kevin Owens versus LA Knight. Yeah. Extreme Rules. Soruka. I feel like women's division wise, nothing is set in stone on what we're about to do. So I will go ahead and establish that now. I wanted to do Soruka versus Rhea Ripley, so maybe we need Soruka to lose the title here. Just thinking out loud. It just would have made more sense for Stephanie Vaquer to be in this match. But she has way too low of a stamina. We could say that Stephanie Vaquer's stamina was too low. That's why Roxanne Perez is replacing her. In continuity, because, again, last week Stephanie Vaquer won the steel cage match. Montez Ford, Carl Anderson backstage brawl. Penta and Carmelo Hayes. I don't think they have done this in real life. Because Carmelo's been on SmackDown, Penta's been on Raw. Then title rematch, RVD. There's Dominic. Mysterio. I could have put a stipulation. Do we put a stipulation on this? Screw it. In a TLC US title match. Alright, boom. The next thing that we do being Bash in Berlin. So Mick Foley picks up another victory. I do feel at some point we'll probably have to do Mick Foley and Cody Rhodes in a match. I feel that would be a somewhat interesting match. I've also came to the conclusion is that okay, Roxanne Perez did win here, and then it's out for 3 weeks. That's not that long. I just don't necessarily know. The women's division, I would just say, women's division plans have dramatically changed. Carl Anderson, not Carl Anderson. Braun Breaker, more likely whatever we do with him next, just changed as well. Carmelo Hayes wins. I think what we're going to do is probably Braun Breaker and Penta and Kevin Owens and Mick Foley as Dominic wins the title back and is out for 8 effing weeks. Why are we getting so many? I'm glad we got a good match out of that at least. Why are we getting so long of injuries? Okay, our fan advantage is not as big as it used to be. Hey, I know you probably got plans for the PLE already. I haven't been in a lot of PLEs yet. I just think I could put on a hell of a show if you just changed your mind. Just throwing it out there. So she wants to be on here and Rhea wants to be on here. So I'm glad that not have at least one tornado tag match. What do we get? What is our prize over here? Okay, a large superstar morale, which we still have one of these from last season, by the way. All right, oh, I really want to go because we have 200,000. I think that logically speaking, we would have one of those next time around. Rhea's here and healthy. Roxanne's only out for 3 weeks. That's not that bad, like I said. All right. Okay. Bro, Dom's on the last week of his contract, too, so we might be letting Dom ride off to the sunset. Alright, I think I have an idea of something, by the way. So, thing 1. What is the match? Tornado tag? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. Who has the highest stamina? I might pick Mello. Do I pick Mello or Mick Foley? I know that technically Mello has the higher stamina, but we're going to go with Mick Foley. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and buy one of these just because. Thinking out loud, I think we're going to end AJ Styles and Carl Anderson's time as a tag team. And I also think we're probably going to let Dirty Dom walk off into the sunset because it's going to cost a lot of money to bring him back, A, and B, he's still out for like 2 months. And we hadn't established him and Cody yet. So plans are dramatically changing. Is the main point. So, let's get the pay-per-view done, and then we can start to deliver on some of those things. So, Stephanie Verker. Let's go ahead. Stephanie Verker, and I'm going to look up now, y'all know before me, Bayley, which I feel that these two have teamed on Raw at least once, versus Tatum Paxley and Natalya. Tatum Paxley, Bayley's a double champion, which has happened at least. I think her and Sasha were tag champs and women's champs at the same time in like the middle of 2020, which is obviously a difficult year to remember anything. And we lost. That is surprising. That is very much surprising. And Stephanie Vergara got effing hurt out of it. Don't like that. Way too many injuries. So we're going to slow down. All right. Montez Ford. I'm really pissed off what I just did. I wrote down Montez Ford. I meant to write down the Street Profits. Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins. Because if they have like an actual tag team name, I write it. So like when I wrote down the Motor City Machine Guns, I'd already write down MCMG instead of Saban and Shelley. AJ Styles and Carl Anderson. Of course, a damn title change would happen when I wouldn't want it. And why are we getting... All right. Why are we getting so many damn injuries? This is terrible. How many people? Cody is hurt. Stephanie Verker is hurt. Dominic Mysterio is hurt. Roxanne Perez is hurt. That's at least 4. I guarantee there's somebody else. Rhea was hurt for like a week. All for like, and like Stephanie Verker got hurt in a match I didn't even want her in. This would be a nice backstage brawl. I'm not going to say that the same about ECW. Who do we put in the main event? Mick Foley. There's another injury, but that one's for only 2 weeks. All these other ones are like 7. Oh, jeez. All right. Mick Foley, Andre Chase. I feel bad for Andre Chase. Gunther of Raw. Andre Chase of NXT. And Jacob Fatu of ECW. All right. And Andre Chase won. How? That is insane. That is crazy. That is crazy. Okay. I have no clue what we're about to experience. I will fully admit that. Because I told y'all all these plans. Every single one of them is changed. RVD and Mello we can still do. Cody and Dom, no. Bullet Club, LC versus Street Profits, we'll have to wait for. Braun Breaker, Cactus Jack, I don't even care about anymore. Penta Kevin Owens is the main one I want to do, and I don't even know how much I care about that anymore. Alright. Shout out Stephanie Verker being the most popular star on the roster. Whew. How are we going to get this done? And Angela Dawkins has like a very low value, obviously, now. Where's Gigi Dolan? Gigi Dolan's up here. Do we trade Carl Anderson? This is the... I think we need to trade Carl Anderson. And I think we need to trade Angelo Dawkins. I don't know. Do I really want to break the Street Profits up is my main question. Because I don't know necessarily what we'd do with Mello. Dom, like I said, we're already letting walk. So I'm trying to even things out. Who has Tatum Paxley on their roster? Because that is the main woman talent that I want. I want Jacob Fatu back, by the way. Julia is here. I feel that we can get something out of Julia. I'm gonna think about it. I'll also say with morale being in the red, I'm gonna hope that like somewhat changes on our roster because I can't change it that much because we got screwed, you know, in the Bash and Berlin. We didn't win the Bash and Berlin matches. I wouldn't mind Solo Sikoa. I don't know how you're world champion and the second least popular person on your roster. Tatum is on NXT. I mainly want to bring Tatum into team with Gigi Dolan. Andrade is here. I wouldn't mind Andrade, which I've said that I feel like every time. So I think we're gonna come over here. We're coming over here. Who else was I willing to include in this? I think we might let it ride out with Angelo. It might keep him now because he has obviously a low value. And then I'm willing to put up 75,000. Okay. Because we need another woman talent. We for certain need another woman talent to even things out. Jacob Fatu has unfinished business over here. So I want him on the roster. And Julia's the best talent over here, women's wise. Natalia, I think I want to be generous and go up to 100,000. Especially because we have somewhat of money here. Okay. This is the most I'm willing to offer. Okay. This is okay. Now, is there anybody else here I'm willing to trade? I don't think so. If there is, I don't know off the top of my head. So the tag titles are vacated. Jacob Fatu is the most popular person on our roster too, which is kind of funny. I don't know what we're about to do. All right. I want to get money back, but Dom and I want to keep Angela. That's the thing. If I like knew somebody to like fill the tag team void, because Trick and Mello I could put together as a team. I really wanted to do Trick and Mello versus the Street Profits. But like right here, like we got a lot of good talent. I just don't know how many would gel well as a team. And I don't know how long we're going to be waiting for Angela Dawkins to come back. So I think we're going to wait it out, and we might still go with Trick and Mello, or Trick versus LA Knight, and then Mello's probably just going to float around, and Montez could spend some time as a singles competitor. We might just do Montez and Mello. Probably not, but again, I'm just thinking out loud. So I'm willing to trade Dominic away. Who has the most? All right. I'm just trying to get something for him. I don't think. All right, that's fine. No, not really. That's not the worst, but not really. Survivor Series. Sorry, Dom, but no. Okay, here's the issue here. Alright, here's the issue here. So we gotta do Cody and Trick. I just don't need Cody getting hurt before both matches. Fan favorites gain morale. I don't really need that. Select a champion. They sit out the next 3 weeks. I think I'm just going to take my chances with this. Yay. I think I'm going to save that for next season. I think we're going to use this for Braun Breaker. And then that one doesn't really matter that much. Have at least one Gauntlet Eliminator this week. Now, the good thing with this is that we'll probably do this as a main event to crown a new U.S. champion. Because we got to have a new U.S. champion. Is there... There is this. Which I think we could use this on Cody, correct? Because he's only got one... He's got 2 weeks. Why does this keep happening? I'll go ahead and use this on Cody. Which this is funny that, like, I have... How many people do we have injured? 5. Technically, 4. We're going to use this one on Cody. He will be back next week. That's thing 1. Thing 2. Bro, we only get $800. That's kind of crazy. We only get $800. I thought I was getting a deal here. Not really. All right. Who all needs to be in this Gauntlet Eliminator? Montez Ford would be good. Montez Ford. I think we're going to do Montez, Braun Breaker, Mello, and RVD. And then if any of that spins out to a rivalry, that's fine. Gauntlet Eliminator. Is it Gauntlet Eliminator or Gauntlet? No, Gauntlet Eliminator. The main event to crown a new U.S. champion. I said RVD. I said Carmelo Hayes, Montez, and Braun Breaker, I believe. Boom. That's the main event. Mick Foley. We need to start building up chair. We need a backstage brawl. And when we're doing Kevin Owens, all right, this is the other thing we need. This is what we're definitely doing. Is Rhea, Gigi, last time, steel cage match. I'm not even putting the title on the line because Gigi, what she did, she ain't getting a damn title shot. LA Knight and Trick. I think we've had them do one match, correct? No. They haven't even faced off yet. Then right here, another thing. We need Sol Ruka to go ahead and be a specialist. Because we're probably doing Rhea Ripley, Sol Ruka. Maybe Julia and Roxanne. Probably Julia and Roxanne, Michin, and Zoe Stark. And then Stephanie Recur, Gigi Dolan. We need Gigi Dolan to turn heel, which that is fine. So Roxanne, Julia, I'm fine with. Michin and Zoe Stark, I'm okay with. Is there anything else? Rhea and Sol Ruka, I want. Rhea and Sol Ruka, Roxanne, Julia, Stephanie Recur, Gigi Dolan, Zoe Stark, Michin. I have 5 fingers up. I should have 4. So, though, we need to do a triple threat. We don't necessarily have to, but we are going to do a triple threat with these 3. I hope that Julia wins that. So we need one more charity promo. And we're going to do it from Kevin Owens. And we just have just him out for money. Okay. Alright, we got a lot of things down here. Thing 1. Can't use that still. Because nobody ever signs anybody. I think I'm okay with all that. We just need to do charity promos because ECW is getting a little bit too close for my liking. Rhea Ripley, Gigi Dolan one last time. Inside of a steel cage. LA Knight, Trick Williams. Just because... Alright. Next week we're doing Cody and Trick Williams. And then the week after we're doing Mick Foley and Cody. We need to do something with Jacob Fatu. Which Jacob Fatu is probably... We have a lot of options for Jacob Fatu. I will admit that. Because I initially thought we were going to do Jacob Fatu and Cody. I'm not 100%. Because we have Jacob Fatu and Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu and Cody, or Jacob Fatu and Mick Foley. Jacob Fatu, Cody Rhodes, Braun Breaker, Penta. I might have said somebody else as well. But we have a lot more options for Jacob Fatu this time around compared to his first stint on the roster. We also have AJ Styles. We need something for AJ Styles to do. Which, how many people do we have, like, signed that will have to extend the contract? I think just Michin and LA Knight. Main event. I have no clue what the thumbnail... I will tell you now. I still don't think about it in the back of my mind. I have no clue what the thumbnail of this video will be just yet. Because we haven't had like a consistent theme going on. Besides injuries, which I don't really want to like highlight that as well. U.S. title Gauntlet Eliminator. I might have spelled eliminator wrong, but I understand the message. That was hilarious that she won that, but she didn't win the title, so that's all that really matters. LA Knight won here. Zoe Stark just always wins. Always. Except for that one time she lost the title to Soroka. Main event. With RVD retaining and bringing the title back. And Montez only out 2 weeks. So, there's that. Something else. What was I getting at? I already forgot. I don't know how Andrade stays at like 100 stamina, by the way. He's consistently... What is his stamina? Please tell me. See, look, he's at 100 stamina, but he's just in a match in the main event. How does that work? Chris Sabin is also here now. How does that work? Now I'm really mad. Okay, ECW is still close to us. I don't like that. But the trophy-wise, they are not. Hey there again. I've been watching your progress. I guess you can just hear me. Okay, okay. I think we can do something here. I don't really want to, but I don't want to make too many people mad. And I don't really have any plans. But I see Carmelo doing this. So there might be a case that we do another match. Because I think all that matters is that they're... Alright, so thing one, for certain. RVD, Carmelo has, which is probably the rivalry we're going to establish here. Jacob Fatu. I think what we're going to do is Jacob Fatu versus Penta, and we're going to go ahead and do Mick Foley and Kevin Owens. I think that's what we're going to do. So Jacob Fatu and Penta. That leaves us with Braun Breaker and AJ, which is something that I've said I really wanted to see that happen in real life, and then that kind of didn't do that. Also, I have no clue what we're about to do with Cody Rhodes. So there's that as well. So I feel that somebody... Are we uneven with men talent? Because I think that's how we got to that. U.S. title. Melo wanted a match with the U.S. title. No, he doesn't want a match with RVD. I want to put the U.S. title on the line anyways. All right, so there's that. We're going to do a backstage brawl with Mick Foley and Kevin Owens just for the fan boost, but it should start up a rivalry with those two. Cody and Trick. Title match. Special guest referee LA Knight. And then a false count anywhere match. I don't really want to do. Over here, we need AJ to be a face. So, again, we are uneven. We have to be uneven with men talent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So the funny thing is we don't have anything for our world champion to do, which somewhat is understandable because he was out with injury. Sol Ruka is supposed to be feuding with Rhea. I think we're going to do a Zoe Stark Michin Falls Count Anywhere match. Correct. Can I do them in a backstage row? No. We'll wait and save their underground match. This does not benefit us that damn much. What is the power card? That, alright, we're not going to do it in a Falls Count Anywhere. I really want to do this in an ambulance match. I think we'll wait it out. They'll have an ambulance match probably on the Go Home episode. So over here, Julia is supposed to be feuding with Roxanne, Stephanie, and Gigi. So we need Gigi to turn heel. We need Julia. It was the highest pro. I'm fairly certain it's Rhea. It is. We'll be generous. What do we do? All right, we'll give Rhea the week off next week. We'll have Rhea do the charity promo. And then do we do a Julia call out to Roxanne or Gigi? I think it's more important that Gigi go ahead and turns heel. So boom, there. The other thing is what sucks is I'm taking the risk because I want to save this fixed match card, but it is very important that Cody comes out of this match. Okay, that way we could do Cody and Mick Foley next week. Okay. Think I'm okay with all of this. I should be. Cody Rhodes and Trick Williams. With special guest referee LA Knight. Yes. Yeah. We might end up, I don't know. WWE title, special guest referee LA Knight. Last man, last woman standing. Iron Man, Iron Woman. I still have not looked into that 10 episodes into this series. And then we'll probably do a ambulance match with these two on the go home. Mick Foley, Kevin Owens backstage brawl. And the idea is that Kevin Owens is probably going to interfere in the title match next week. On the backstage brawl main event. Who did I say? Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker's supposed to be feuding with AJ. RVD versus Carmelo Hayes versus Penta versus Jacob Fatu US title match. Alright, this should be a good episode. Also, don't like that we were at 200,000 at the pay-per-view. I said I'm going to make an improvement and then somehow lost money. I'm glad that Cody won. That's what was needed. I got a bit worried. Still going to be worried when he has the match with Mick Foley. Zoe Stark. Oh my goodness. Unstoppable force. Mick Foley wins. Jacob Fatu in his return to SmackDown wins the U.S. title, which is somewhat understandable. Pretty Diddley and Chase, you have been feuding the entire season. Poor finale, my ass. I probably should have put the backstage brawl earlier. We're in a better spot, which is somewhat understandable. As we kind of got to... Alright, it gets confusing when the trophy and all that, because ECW is still kind of near us, which I don't like. 5 superstars. I don't like that it's 2 people. That I don't also know how you gain... Select randomly cannot drop a promo skill below 1. Can't be used in last week. Also, who the hell is the ECW? ECW GM is Paul Heyman. I thought it was Mick Foley for a second. I was like, because I thought I saw 2 Mick Foleys. That match was rigged. You know, LA Knight has got it out for me. I want to meet him in the middle of the ring the next 3 weeks. So sick of watching Zoe strut around the locker room like she's the queen of SmackDown. I need to see her get taken down a peg or 2. I don't care how it's done. She needs to lose her next match. Okay. If she doesn't, that's not really my fault. Kevin Owens wants to win his next match. Alright, so thing 1 that needs to be done. I also, again, don't remember how you... you level up your promos. Alright, so there's that. I think this week's Backstage Brawl is going to be with RVD and Mello. Backstage Brawls are essential. Zoe Stark is supposed to lose her next match. Which I think what we're going to do is a triple threat. Roxanne, Julia, and Zoe Stark, Women's U.S. title run in with Michin going after Zoe Stark. LA Knight Trick. I just know that Trick is going to get it fucking hurt, so that's what makes that difficult. I don't even know what to do there. What was Gigi supposed to feud with? Stephanie Vicker. She'll be back soon. Alright. This is the difficult spot. So Rhea, okay. I thought that meant that they dropped down to 1. Okay. Now I feel a little bit better, because I thought she was at a 1 promo. She was at a 3. That's not that bad. Jacob Fatu, what is his promo? AJ, LA Knight, yeah. A whole night of backstage brawls. I don't think we have enough. I don't even know how much a call out cost. Alright, 3,000. We have just enough. And then, well, I said I was going to give Rhea the week off, and we will. Good talent. Alright, so Thing 1. Who needs this the most over here? I guess Julia by default. There's a chance of a women's U.S. champion as well. Thing 2. We'll use that. Thing 3. We'll use this for Cody again, because I feel it's more important for Cody, as I've completely glossed over him. We'll probably give Cody the next 2 weeks off, or he will probably just be doing promos. Any thing we need to do this for EC. I think we're going heavy attack at ECW. Granted, it's just only on that actually. We'll wait and use this one, or where's this one at another time. Have at least one underground match. I just used that power card, and we still have one of them or those left. So now we're at episode 68, very close to 69. Nice. Episode 68, which I don't know. I don't have enough room on this page, but I don't care. Episode 68. RVD, Carmelo Hayes backstage brawl. Braun Breaker, AHS Styles backstage brawl. This one, not as needed, but just because we have enough money for it and to get the fan boost out of it, I felt we should do it. AJ Styles. Women's U.S. title, Roxanne versus Julia versus Zoe Stark. Roxanne Stark. Holy crap, I need to go to sleep. I'm messing up all. The worst thing about it is also writing in pen, because then you just have to write over it. And you try to be a professional. I also wish that her name was Zoe Starks, because it's easier to say that than Zoe Stark. Women's U.S. title. In the main event, Cody Rhodes, Mick Foley. I feel that the thumbnail's got to have something to be related to Mick Foley. I just don't know of a pun or quite yet what. But something about Mick Foley's probably going to be in the thumbnail. It also makes it hilarious. It's like retired version Mick Foley. WWE title, Extreme Rules. Boom. All right. Let me look over here. We're doing this with Mick Foley there. Kevin Owens wants to win his next match. Trick wants a match with LA Knight. Do we have LA Knight doing anything? Time out. Oh, I think we do. Trick. We have a health spa, don't we? We do. I think this is beneficial to give it to Trick, because the 2 stamina's kind of low. Even though I know 20's not that much better, but you understand the point. What does have LA Knight? Do we have LA Knight do a call out? Does it matter that much? Not really. It's already a 4-star rivalry. So we have another ad promo this time around from Jacob Fatu. Alright. Think I'm okay with all this. I have all of it wrote down. I want to see. I just, when you go too fast, you feel like you're forgetting something. Mick Foley or Kevin Owens is upset. I don't like that. A lot of upset people. Cody's not that happy. Or Cody is happy. It is the opposite. Jacob Fatu is a little bit better. I see Carmelo up there. Montez is almost back, so. RD wins. AJ wins. Roxanne wins, so Zoe Stark did lose her next match, which was the main thing that was needed. As Mick Foley is now the damn champion, just like in TNA. I don't really know how we're going to go about that. It's not the worst thing, but at some point we will have to get the title back on Cody. Okay, we're a little bit. Where the hell is ECW? Now they have 7 trophies, so now they're ahead of NXT. We're 10,000 more because we've been at 20,000 out of them. Now we're at 10,000 or 30,000. So that is a good thing. No. That's hilarious because I said I was going to do the same for him, and then he did it to me. Okay, I don't like that. Mainly because if I could use the power card, what makes it worse, what sucks about this is I have the gold contract extension and I have the silver contract extension. I also have the one that's the homecoming card where they can't be booked for. So I'm just going to be generous. And I know that I don't have to and shouldn't, but I'm just going to go ahead and pay him. You know what, actually? I'm going to offer this. And then we're going to get screwed money-wise, but now I don't have to worry about that. Now we're also kind of... Okay. I think I know something. I think I have an idea. Okay. Schedule a run-in this week. Alright. This is probably the week that we got to use that half-off card of the matches. I shouldn't have done that with LA Knight, but they got me there. But I don't think... The only person we'd have to pay now is MyGM /Michin. Which, because of that... Let's go ahead and use the silver... Excuse me. Contract extension with her. Right, there's that. We also only have 1 more month left. I kept thinking we had 2. We have 1 more month left till Mania. So now I just realized that we're never going to get to do Penta and Kevin Owens. Which is not the worst thing. What to do. What match? We're supposed to do Trick and LA Knight. We're definitely doing Trick and LA Knight in a match. And what type of stipulation? I don't know, because all of these are going to be expensive. Do they deserve a Hell in a Cell match? We'll put it there for now. The main thing is I'm going to put the expensive matches, and then we'll use the power card, and then go from there to see what all we could do or not. I want to do Mick Foley and Cody in a Hell in a Cell match, but I think we're going to wait until the week after next. Now the issue is trying to fill out the rest of this card. Gigi Dolan's supposed to feud with Stephanie Vaquer, which we got to wait a whole other week for freaking Stephanie to come back. The issue with doing MyGM and Zoe Stark in a match is Zoe Stark's got non-stamina. Penta and Jacob Fatu in a one-on-one match. Just straight up. RVD and Mello potentially in a one-on-one match. We'll see. Kevin Owens wants to win his next match. I just don't really have anybody. The only person we could really put him against is Braun Breaker, which I think we will do that. This is a rematch, I think, from the very first episode of this season. I'm not 100%. I don't remember that much. The main issue is that all the matches are probably going to be singles matches. We could do a tag match here. Rhea and Roxanne, the champions. I do like that. Get Sol Ruka and Julia. I do like this match. This would be a fun match. And then... do we go with RVD and Mello? I think we will probably go with RVD and Mello here. Just in a one-on-one match. And then all these people doing ad promos. Just to save the money, or to gain money, I guess you could say. And then once we get to after the pay-per-view, then we could establish the last month of TV till Mania. Because now we're doing Mick Foley and Kevin Owens. I really wanted to do Penta and Kevin Owens. It's not impossible. It would just have to wait till next season, which is not something I'm necessarily would be proud of, but understandable. So the idea, I think, what at the pay-per-view, we're going to do an ambulance match or a cage match. Zoe Stark and Mia Yim. And then the week after, so show 21, Cody versus Mick Foley inside of a Hell in the Cell fixed match with Cody winning the belt back. There's also another week. All right, can I do this as a backstage brawl? Actually, no, we don't have enough. Jesus, I didn't know it cost. I forgot the processor is Chris. I was like, there's no way backstage brawls cost that much. So I will also say, once we need to start, we need to really go after ECW. By the way, because they are really close to us fan wise, which I don't like that. Trophy wise, we should be at the revenue one very soon. Fan one, we should probably be by the end of the season. So, anything else I'm forgetting about? Kevin wants to win his next match. He has a chance of that. Trick is getting his match with LA Knight. We only got one contract that might expire. Probably won't, though. All right, we're on a good trajectory still. Everything, I legitimately think everything we had planned has been thrown out the window. Because I wrote down, all right, Cody and Dominic, no. RVD and Mello we're doing. LA Knight and Trick we're doing. AJ and Carl Anderson, the Street Profits, we did. So 3 out of the 10 things we had planned, we have done, which is hilarious. But at least I don't really have a problem with anything that we are doing, though. That is a good thing. And we also brought back Jacob Fatu, which is something I really wanted to do at some point. Because it's my fault the way that his last tenure ended. U.S. title match. RVD and Mello. I'll spice things up and make it a... Okay, I was going to say, I'll make it a tables match. Don't even have enough for it. RVD versus Carmelo Hayes. Braun Breaker versus Kevin Owens. I have no clue who's about to be in these pay-per-view matches, by the way. Rhea Ripley and Roxanne Perez. Champions versus All-Star match. I also just realized that we might be doing Stephanie Verker and Rhea Ripley. Which is not... We can still do it. I don't know. It's not going to be as big of a build as it should have been. I also just realized we probably need to end AJ. We might just have to insert Cody into the AJ Braun Breaker rivalry. And or just have a... I think, hypothetically speaking, we'll do Braun Breaker and Cody. It just will bleed into the season after A. And B, we probably need AJ to be our representative in the brand match at WrestleMania. So I'm glad that I'm thinking out loud now. Main event, LA Knight, Trick Williams, Hell in the Cell. I know the high stakes with this match. I also forgot about LA Knight. I don't really know what we're about to do with LA Knight. Probably shouldn't have done this as a Hell in the Cell, but already hit the button. With Penta now. The U.S. title has went, in the course of this episode, has went from Dominic to RVD, back to Dominic, to vacant, to RVD, to Jacob Fatu, to Penta. So 7 times this title has changed hands. RVD picking up another victory. We might have to end up doing RVD and LA Knight, which I don't necessarily like that, I will admit. because we don't really have anything for those two. So Kevin Owens wins his next match. He should be happy about that. Trick wins. Nobody got hurt. I will take that. So now everybody's copying my freaking trend to doing backstage brawl matches. Bro, a backstage brawl 2. Look at this. Look at this. There's one on this show. I forgot we tried Carl Anderson there. Alright. Did anybody get hurt in the main event? No. Alright. I'll take that. I don't like that whatsoever. That'll be changed. That'll be changed. Why are you doing this to me? I'm glad I don't really think I had anything planned for those 2 or 3. I like that Triple H blamed the match increases on the Union, by the way. I saw that. Do not book your most popular available cruiser. I have no clue who that is. Is it Mello? It is. What the hell is Montez doing? What the hell is Montez? Because he's not a champion. I don't know why Montez is booked for 2 weeks. Alright. I don't really have to book him. I am going to do... I think we're going to take the cheat... I wanted to do these 2 in an ambulance match. We're going to take the easy way out and do a damn backstage brawl since everybody else wants to. We're going to pay for this. Boom. We're going to do a charity promo with whoever is a 5-star. LA Knight is back. Or he's healthy. LA Knight, yeah, charity promo. Boom. What is the power card? What is the card that we get? I don't really care that much about that one. So, who has the highest? Jesus, everybody's staminas are low. This is not good. Probably should be RVD, even though Penta's is high. Probably just going to go with RVD. Boom. Boom. And then right here, we're going to use... We'll use Julia. Boom. Alright. This should be essential down the line, so I'll go ahead and buy one of those. Now, how much of this can I use on... I also used one of these power cards. I wonder if it helped at any point. I don't think it did. I'll go for ECW any way that I can. I can't use this in the first. We're definitely using this on the go home episode. I shouldn't be saying this stuff out loud because then it's gonna come back to bite me. But I'm also kind of pissed. All right, I'm all right with this episode. We should have another trophy pretty soon. That is a good thing. All right. We'll do this. We'll set up the next week's episode. Then we'll wrap this video up because we almost been going for 2 hours. Or not really. All right. I also don't know what the thumbnail of this is still going to be. It's probably going to be something with Mick Foley. I just don't know what quite yet. Also, freaking, you want to know why Raw is in last place? Lexus King is their world champ. It's going to get Chris Sabin, Macho Man, 3 Hall of Famers. I don't think Chris Sabin's in a Hall of Fame yet, but he certainly will be in the... why he's not in the TNA Hall of Fame, I don't know. I think most of the people that are in the TNA Hall... When they established the TNA Hall of Fame, it wasn't strictly for retired wrestlers. Because it was Sting, then Kurt Angle, and then Team 3D, Jeff Jarrett. Like, everybody in the beginning were still active. Now they've kind of like slowly transitioned it to retired competitors. It's Macho Man's wins. Like I said, I don't really care that much about the reward for this show. Okay, bro, look at ECW. They caught on. They're doing a backstage brawl, but they're not doing a charity promo. Zoe Stark wins again. And got hurt. I don't know if that concluded the rivalry. Did it? Let me look. It did. All right. We'll have to find something else for them to do. We only got 3,000 out of that. Bro, look at Apollo and Obafemi. Their morales are so low. At least I got a 5-star match out of it. Italian and Tamina, I'm fairly certain were real life women's tag team champions. Without a shadow of a doubt, I almost said Nikita Lyons. Julia's the best women's talent here. I'm going to hope that it leads to a victory. But this is also a video game. Okay, the slip up that I had led to our demise because Nikita Lyons won hilariously. Logically speaking, I could do a trade. I just don't necessarily know for what or why. For what or for why. So I probably won't, as I do like this. Another trophy. We should have 8. And then, like I said, by the end of the season, we should have 9. So we're at 8 right now. We're back in the lead. No, we're not. We're in the lead only because... Bro, how did they get 100,000 fan advantage? Now, we're like 50,000 down. But we're only in the lead because of the trophies. All right, we got to step it up. All right. Got to step it up badly. This is not that bad, but this is not a bad offer, actually. Have we had Jada Parker on the roster yet? I don't think so. I'm just going to decline. This is not... I'm going to decline because I'd rather save the money, and I don't have anything planned. That was not... any other time I would have did that offer. This is also a great offer as well, but we already have something for Julia, and I don't want to give up it. I don't know. If we should have just done we should have done the last trade, and then we could have done Jada Parker and something. And this is a good trade here, but back-to-back good trades. I think they offered us good trades because they wanted to complete that Hall of Fame challenge. I think that is exactly why that just happened. How long are they out? Just a week? Oh my god, I don't feel like reading all this. We just he's worked with a ton of major sports brands, cutting-edge stuff. We can loan him to your brand, train some of the superstars, help them and recover. They will have to sit out a show, though. You could have him long enough to train LA Knight and Braun Breaker for $30,000. I'd also be willing to bend the rules in Linda. Why couldn't you just bend the rules for both? I don't know. What are their staminas at? LA Knight's at a 37. Braun's at a 27. I think we'll just go with Braun, save the money, have LA Knight cut a promo. Alright. Select a superstar. When the superstar participates in a match, all participants lose less stamina. Special refs and special guests. I think this is the best. All those sucked. All of those absolutely sucked. And I just picked the middle one. Alright. I will say this, because I've talked this off enough. I don't even know if we could do a run-in in this match. We should be able to. I think we're going to... Oh my God. All right, I'm going to lay out plans. They might be changed. they might be changed by the time next time that we're here. I will fully admit that. Angelo Dawkins got 2 more weeks left. I want to do something where every match is a title match, which is probably the way we're about to go, the route we're about to go. Who is Gigi Dolan supposed to be feuding with? Stephanie McCurr, Roxanne, Michin. So who does that leave Zoe Stark feuding with? Julia, which was hilariously the first rivalry that we did. I should have just traded for Jada Parker and then traded somebody else. Okay now. We're getting somewhere. Somewhat. Not even really. We're just putting a bunch of people in a match. That's what kind of sucks, but I'll take it. Julia and Gigi Dolan. Roxanne and... Alright. I don't really like any of that. We're just putting people in a match. Julia... Michin and Roxanne. Rhea, Soul, Zoe, Stephanie. Who does that leave? I just said all that and then completely went blank. Rhea and Soul. Michin, Roxanne. Stephanie, Zoe. Gigi, and Julia. Alright. So who needs to be in this match? So the problem here is Zoe being out, by the way. Michin and Roxanne. With Stephanie McCurr doing a promo and a return. I'm trying to get as much fans as I can, so these might be all charity promos this week. As much as that doesn't necessarily help us. These power cards don't help us, so I'm not even going to really worry about that. Lastly, I could do a backstage brawl with some of these people, but I don't really. LA Knight, Jacob Fatu, Penta, and Mello. And then RVD and AJ. So I'm going to do another backstage brawl. This might end up costing us because of health reasons. Carmelo, LA Knight, who I said I was not going to book. You know what? We'll do it to AJ. We'll actually use AJ. Jacob and Penta. And then a charity promo with LA Knight, definitely. And I shouldn't use RVD, but I will. So, boom. There. This is what we're leaving off with. I'm going to hope that at some point that we gain more money and then we can make one of these upgrades between these two. Because I've been putting it off for way too long. I might do a casket match. I might do an episode of like casket matches at the go home. Because I was about to buy this power card. This is a good power card. Especially while I have the money. We might just do a bunch of casket matches for the time that we don't need the roster spots. And then, like, because at the end of the season, the roster spots don't matter that much. But we will wait out on it. So next time around will be the road to our 3rd WrestleMania. Right now, we have 8 Hall of Fame trophies. We're very close to 9. We're down in the fans, which I don't like that. NXT is kind of close to us as well. I kind of ignore that. The goal is to have the most Hall of Fame trophies at the end. It's kind of, I compared it to, you can win the MVP in the NBA, or you can win the title. The Hall of Fame trophies are the title. The fans is winning the MVP. You can also look at it vice versa. So it matters which one matters to you most. Everyone, if you ask anyone, they want the finals because, team-wise. which I don't really know. I'd have to really think about that because I think the way I said it would be the opposite way around. But I like the direction that we're headed. So we're gonna end off right here. Pick up sometime soon. Take a couple of days and think about it. Oh my god, I'm glad I realized this as well. We almost had Illinois do a self promo. That would have been bad. All right, appreciate y'all. See y'all. I'm out for now. Goodbye.